Have you ever felt like there are so many moving parts when it comes to creating content and you're just not sure where to start? You're thinking about what to say, where to show up, how to make it all connect to your business and your office. And before you've even begun, it already feels overwhelming. Now, this often happens because you're trying to create content without understanding where you are right now in the process. So, in this episode, I'm going to give you a way to make sense of it all, not by adding more to your plate, but by showing you the 5 stages that can shape your content journey so that you can understand where to start, where you are, and what actually matters right now. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to this week's episode of the Content with Heart podcast. How are you this week? I hope you're well. Thank you so much for choosing to listen in or watching today. I am so honored to be in your ears. So, the other day, I decided to make a few meals and bake a cake for a beautiful friend who is currently in hospital at the moment, just to help her when she comes out of hospital and maybe give her family a few meals to have while she was in hospital. Now, I had this really huge, grand idea that I would make so many different meals. I ended up making, I think it was 2 or 3, and I baked a cake as well. So I kind of got to the beginning of the day and went, oh my goodness, where do I start with all of this? I've got so many things that I want to do. There's so many ingredients. I've got them out already. They're on the bench. I've got everything ready to go, but I'm not quite sure where to start. So I had to stop and take a deep breath and just go, Mel, you need to start from the beginning. Just take one recipe, get it to a point where you can leave it and then move on to the next recipe. And I think that, this is probably provides a really interesting analogy to content as well. We can easily feel this way about our content, no matter how long we've been in business. Like I often feel like it as well. And I've been in business about 8 years. So when content feels like it has all of these moving parts and it's just so overwhelming, what is usually missing is a way to anchor yourself. And for me, the way to anchor myself with the cooking the other day was with following my recipes. So when you don't have that anchor point, you can really find yourself jumping between strategies or second guessing your ideas or feeling like you're constantly starting over. But the thing is, I know that you know how to create content, but you may just be missing how to understand where you are within all of this chaos that you're feeling right now. When you know what stage you're in, you make clearer decisions, you stop wasting time on content that doesn't really move you forward. You find that you build consistency in a way that feels really grounded and not forced. And you know exactly the next step and direction that you're heading. So, when you are in that feeling of chaos and the too many moving parts, it isn't random. It's really just a signal that you're in a specific stage of your content journey, and understanding that is going to help you feel less overwhelmed and be able to move forward. That overwhelm, the confusion, the procrastination, they're not something that is wrong with you. And I really want to reiterate that because we get all of these messages from outside saying that these things, feeling this way, means that there's something wrong with you and you need to fix you. But they're really just patterns that show up at predictable points. And most people misinterpret these feelings as failure instead of feedback. So when you're feeling like this and you're feeling like you're in this chaos and you're not knowing where to start and you don't start, you procrastinate, I want you to know that it's not you. It's just that you need a way to actually move forward. So let's talk about these 5 stages and how they help you to understand or to know what to actually do next. And the reason I feel like they're so important to know is that it helps you understand what's already happening and helps you find a way to actually take that next step and move forward. So the first stage is the connect stage. And this really feels like you're overwhelmed, you're distracted, and you're unsure of where to start. You're in that real chaotic moment. You may be doing things like over researching something, consuming more content, like buying the courses, downloading the things, listening to all of the podcasts out there. You may be second guessing yourself and avoiding visibility altogether. You're really trying to work out who you are speaking to and where to begin with all of that. Now, the second stage is align. And let me know if this feels like you. You feel the pressure, there's pressure to get it right. And in that pressure or that feeling of having to get it right, you end up questioning your message. You may be trying different things, as a result, being inconsistent because you're not really focusing on any one thing that you're doing, chasing ideas, chasing the shiny objects as well. And you're really searching for that clarity and direction to move forward with your content. Now, the third stage is become, and that feels like you're stuck. You're stuck between knowing because you know all of the things and doing, getting the first step done, the action and the momentum. So it may look like you're overcreating things, you're still avoiding visibility, but still wanting things to be easier. You're being called to step into a newer version of yourself. And this often feels so difficult. It feels really hard for people to embrace that and move into the next stage, which is impact. And this feels like it should be working, but something small is missing. You are creating consistently, but maybe lack the cohesion, the momentum, or the consistent results that you're after. And this is where you're ready to bring everything together strategically and really build on that. And then the last stage is inspire. And this is where the clarity sets in, where the ease and the confidence that you know who you are and who you're talking to. It's consistency, it's growth, it's leadership, it's thought leadership, and it's spaciousness as well. You're really creating from that space of alignment and leading others. Now, I want you to know that within these 5 stages, this is not about comparing yourself to others and wishing that you were further ahead than you are. You are just in a stage. You are just in a stage. And that awareness of opportunities for growth is going to be your greatest asset when it comes to content creation. Now, like I said, most people want to be ahead further than they are. And that is just natural human behavior. You know, you might be wanting to be in impact when you're still in align. You're trying to feel confident in the inspired stage when you haven't moved through the become, that knowing and doing stage. And this is where I probably get a little bit frustrated sometimes. This is where you invest in advanced strategies and they are perfectly fine. And, you know, the coaches and the people who are providing them have clear results, but how can you actually execute those strategies when you're still avoiding, say, visibility? So knowing what stage you are will also help you know exactly what sort of help that you need. So really just identify what stage you're in and meet yourself there. And if you want to know your stage, just send me a DM on Instagram and let's chat. Now, each of these stages, we know what you're probably feeling and you know where you want to be, but there are some clear foundations that you need to be able to move through each of these stages. So in the connect stage, this is definitely all about clarity and about foundational work. It's about knowing who your ideal client is. It's about choosing the right platforms to be on for you, not for other people, for you and for your business, and creating a focused piece of content, that core piece of content that's going to carry you through the rest of your content creation process. Now, in the align stage, it's all about message and direction. So you're developing clear content intentions. And I have spoken about the intentions on quite a few podcast episodes recently, so I'll pop them in the show notes as well. It's also about building on your ideas and focusing on starting to create and promote a lead magnet, one that will really draw your audience closer and draw the right people, not all the people. The third stage, the become, it's about the systems as well as your identity. So it's how you organize your content, how you reimagine your content. How do you build your consistency through simple systems? And when I talk about systems, I really do mean simple systems. I'm not talking about, you know, you need to create these massive Notion database, or you don't have to have a fantastic, beautiful looking content calendar. This is all about you and what works for you. And that fourth stage, the impact stage, is about strategy and about cohesion. How can you map your client journey? Start to understand how to take your ideal client through those stages of connect, subscribe, nurture, and convert. It's about creating a very simple content strategy. This does not have to be a huge 100-page document. It's just a simple strategy that will start to give you direction and something that you can always come back to in terms of understanding who you are and where your business is going. And it really helps you to align your content then to your business goals and what you're actually trying to achieve. And that last stage, inspire, is about leadership and it's about growth. It's about learning to leverage your content and refining your processes, introducing a team of people to help you, and stepping into visibility and expansion. Now, you may find yourself going through a spiral in terms of these stages. So you might go through the 5 stages and then find a different direction that you're taking with your business and go back to the very, very beginning. So it is not just a linear process. It's this, forever cyclical process of growth and of learning. And the work that you're doing changes because you are changing at the same time. Your content is evolving as you do. You don't get to this endpoint and say, well done, gold star. It is always about learning and always about growing. Now, the hardest part I find, though, isn't actually doing the work within the stages. It's actually recognizing your stage and trusting what it requires. Like I said, we keep wanting to be ahead of where we actually are now, but we need to understand that we need to do what we need to do right now in order to actually move ahead. I know that when you're in the middle of it, when you're in the thick of it, everything feels urgent. And because everything feels urgent, it feels confusing. And you're really questioning whether you're doing the right things because you're doing a little bit over here and a little bit over there and nothing is actually being finished. And so nothing's actually working. When you look outside for answers instead of understanding your own process, that is when it becomes the most confusing. So this is why I think that support really matters. Being able to see clearly where you are and being held and supported at that level and knowing what actually matters right now and moving forward without second guessing your every step. And, that's exactly what my membership, The Content Effect, is about. And my book as well, The Power of Content. It's not just about creating content. It's really about your growth through each of the stages and how to make the most of your journey, right? Because knowing the stages is one thing, but being able to move through them with that clarity and confidence is really something else entirely. I find that in the Content Effect, I'm giving you not just the ideas or strategies to follow. It's more about being supported to understand your content on a much deeper level and to see where you are right now and to create in a way that actually fits you and your business. So instead of feeling like there's like 100,000 moving parts, you start to feel grounded in what actually matters right now. So if you're interested in joining us inside the Content Effect, go and check out the link in the show notes. Okay, so we're at that point, that beautiful point of the episode where I love to give you a few questions to really think about the content of this podcast and to embody it. So the first question is, am I trying to think about everything at once instead of focusing on one stage? What would feel simpler if I allowed myself to start from where I am? And what is one small step that I can take from where I am right now, this stage today? So go ahead and think about your answers to those questions or come back and journal on them at another stage. I would love to know what your answers are to these questions. So feel free to send me a DM and let me know. Okay, so if content is feeling overwhelmed and scattered and you don't know where to place your focus and you're not quite sure what matters most right now, make sure you come back to those 5 stages: the connect, align, become, impact, and inspire. And it'll really give you a way to find your starting point, then move forward with intention, and then create from a place that actually feels like you. And when you have that sense of knowing then content creation becomes so much easier for you to manage. With heart, always.